High on a hill overlooking the town stood an old house. People called it Whispering Hill. The wind sighed through the trees, sounding like whispers. The house stood silent, shrouded in shadows. No one dared to go near. The old iron gates were rusty and creaked in the wind. The garden was overgrown, hiding secrets beneath tangled weeds. The windows, like empty eyes, stared out at the town below. Whispering Hill held its breath, waiting. The house had stood empty for years, its windows dark and lifeless, its walls echoing with the whispers of the past. People in town spoke of it in hushed tones, their voices tinged with fear and curiosity. They said it was haunted, a place where the spirits of the past lingered, unable to find peace. The story went back to the family who lived there long ago, a family that was once the heart of the community. The family was happy once, or so the story goes. They were known for their laughter, their kindness, and the warmth that radiated from their home. But then, tragedy struck, shattering their idyllic life. The father, driven by madness, took the lives of his wife and children in a fit of rage and despair. He ended his own life soon after, leaving the house stained with sorrow and loss. The house, now a silent witness to the horrors that unfolded within its walls, had been silent ever since. Over the years, many had tried to live there, but none could stay for long. They spoke of strange noises in the night, of cold spots that chilled them to the bone, and of shadows that seemed to move on their own. Some claimed to have seen the ghostly figures of the family, their faces twisted in anguish, wandering the halls. Others heard the faint echoes of laughter and screams, a haunting reminder of the lives lost. The house, it seemed, was determined to keep its secrets, to hold on to the memories of the past. Despite its dark history, the house remained a source of fascination for many. Some were drawn to it by the thrill of the unknown, while others sought to uncover the truth behind the legends. But no matter how many times they tried, the house remained an enigma, its mysteries locked away, waiting for the day when they would finally be revealed. The House of Shadows, as it came to be known, stood as a testament to the power of the past, a reminder that some stories are never truly forgotten. Old Mrs. Hawthorne lived in the town her whole life. She remembered the family from Whispering Hill. She remembered the whispers that started after the tragedy. There were strange noises, she'd say, her voice trembling. Lights flickered, shadows moved in the windows. No one dared to investigate. The house on the hill remained a grim reminder of the past. One chilly autumn night, a group of adventurous teenagers decided to explore the infamous abandoned house on the edge of town. The house had long been the subject of local legends and ghost stories, and the teens were eager to test their courage. They gathered at the old iron gate, daring each other to go inside, their nervous laughter echoing in the stillness of the night. The leader of the group, a confident boy named Jake, stepped forward and pushed open the creaking gate with a loud groan. The sound seemed to reverberate through the empty streets, sending a shiver down their spines. As they walked up the overgrown path, the air grew noticeably colder, and a sense of unease settled over them. The wind whistled eerily through the broken windows, creating an unsettling melody that seemed to beckon them closer. The house loomed before them, its dark silhouette standing out against the moonlit sky. With flashlights in hand, they cautiously approached the front door, which hung ajar on rusty hinges. Inside, the darkness was thick and oppressive, pressing in on them from all sides. The floorboards creaked under their weight, and the musty smell of decay filled their nostrils. They whispered nervously to each other, their voices barely audible over the sound of their own footsteps. Suddenly they heard it, footsteps slow and heavy coming from upstairs. The sound was unmistakable, and it sent a wave of fear through the group. They exchanged wide-eyed glances, their hearts pounding in their chests. Jake motioned for them to follow him as he cautiously made his way toward the staircase, each step echoing in the silence. The air seemed to grow colder with every step, and the sense of dread intensified. What awaited them in the darkness above? The teenagers froze, their hearts pounding in their chests. The footsteps stopped. Then they heard it, a whisper, soft at first, then growing louder. It seemed to come from the walls themselves. The whispers swirled around them, cold and menacing. The teenagers couldn't make out the words, but the tone was filled with despair and anger. Fear, raw and icy, gripped their hearts. They knew they had to escape. They turned to run, but the hallway seemed to stretch endlessly before them. Panic surged through the group. Then Sarah, one of the girls, gasped. "Look," she whispered, pointing to a large antique mirror hanging on the wall. In its depths, she saw a glimmer of something moving, a figure tall and gaunt standing behind them. The temperature plummeted. A cold breath seemed to pass right through them. They could feel the presence behind them, malevolent and hungry. "Run!" Jake screamed, his voice cracking with terror. They scrambled back down the hallway, pushing and shoving in their desperation to escape the house. They raced through the darkened rooms, their footsteps echoing on the wooden floors. The whispers followed, seeming to mock their fear. They could hear the heavy footsteps behind them getting closer. They finally reached the front door, fumbling with the rusty lock. It wouldn't budge. They were trapped. Sarah could feel the icy breath of the presence on her neck, its whisper sending shivers down her spine. With a sudden burst of adrenaline, Jake threw his weight against the door. It flew open with a deafening crack. They tumbled out onto the porch, gasping for breath. As they scrambled to their feet, they heard a chilling sound. A low, guttural growl filled with rage and sorrow echoed from the house. They looked back and saw it, a face, pale and gaunt, staring at them from the upstairs window. The teenagers didn't need to be told twice. The fear in their eyes was palpable, their breaths coming in ragged gasps as they sprinted through the dense, shadowy forest. Every rustle of leaves, every snap of a twig underfoot sent shivers down their spines, urging them to run faster, to escape the unseen terror that pursued them. They ran until the house was nothing but a distant shadow on the hill. The full moon cast an eerie glow over the landscape, illuminating the sinister silhouette of the house that had haunted their dreams. It stood there, ominous and foreboding, a dark reminder of the horrors they had just escaped. They never spoke of what they saw that night, their silence a pact sealed by fear. The terror etched on their faces told a story words could never capture. Huddled together, they sought comfort in each other's presence, but the memory of that night clung to them like a shadow, refusing to fade. But the memory lingered, a cold whisper in the back of their minds. It haunted their dreams, turning their nights into a relentless parade of nightmares. The eerie atmosphere of that dark, empty room where they had encountered the unknown left an indelible mark on their souls. The house on Whispering Hill remained, shrouded in mist and mystery. Its decaying walls and overgrown surroundings stood as a testament to the passage of time, yet it seemed untouched by it. The whispers of the past echoed through its empty halls, a chilling reminder of the secrets it held, a silent sentinel overlooking the town. From its vantage point, it watched over the town below, its presence a constant, unsettling reminder of the darkness that lurked just beyond the edge of everyday life. The townsfolk avoided it, their fear and superstition keeping them at bay. It was a reminder that some tragedies never die, some stories never end. The whispers continued, carried on the wind, a chilling testament to the darkness that lay within. The broken windows and flickering lights seemed to breathe life into the house, as if it were a living entity, feeding on the fear it inspired. Carried on the wind, a chilling testament to the darkness that lay within. The wind howled through the trees, carrying with it the faint, ghostly whispers of the past. The deserted landscape, with the haunted house looming in the distance, served as a stark reminder that some places are forever haunted, their stories etched into the very fabric of the night.